continue. The theory of nat bar nat. Number one, definition of nat bar nat. Food that fried, roasted, or baked in a pot or pan affects the infusion of the taste into the pot or pan. Okay. Okay, there is big commentary we're going to check. When another food is subsequently fried, roasted, or baked in that same pot, some of the original taste that had been absorbed into the pot is infused into the second food. The secondary infusion of the taste from the food to pot is nat bar nat. I mean, we already explained it. Okay, but so I mean, okay, we repeat it three times. I don't want to confuse everybody. So it's from food into the vessel and from vessel to the food. Next one. Okay, let's see the commentary. Nosein ta'am, infusion of taste, is discussed here, is understood as just that, taste transmitted from one method to another. For example, when milk is boiled in a pot, the pot absorbs milk taste. So it's not milk taste, right? Not the actual milk. That's very important. Thus, the question of nat bar nat applies. However, vegetables boiled in milk absorb the actual milk, not the mere taste. Similarly, vegetable cooked in meat gravy absorb the actual gravy, not the mere taste. If this vegetable is sacredly boiled in a pot, the taste infused into the pot primary, not secondary taste. Okay, so let me explain what it says here. So when you cook, I think I like second example better. I think it's more practical. When person cooks, let's say, potatoes in a meat gravy, right? So these the potato, there's no meat. You don't see meat because it's only gravy. But the potatoes are going to absorb the taste and the gravy itself. So it's not only taste, but it's gravy itself. So in halachically speaking, those potatoes are meat. 100% they're meat, even though you don't see that there's some leniency, but basically it's like meat. It's not only taste, but it's actual substance. When we say in taste, it's when it was absorbed into the walls of the vessel, and the vessel gave out this taste. Okay, so that's the difference. Number two, two foods boiled together. Okay, when two foods are boiled together, for example, meat cooked with potatoes, the taste directly infuses from meat into the potatoes, primary, not secondary. So it's not secondary. Again, I think like to simplify what he's trying to say, secondary it's only from the vessel, right? If you cook two foods together, so for sure the taste is primary. So these potatoes, even though they look like potatoes, but halachically they're meat. The fact that this taste was transmitted through a medium that is liquid, there is from meat to water to potatoes, does not accord the status of nat bar nat. I'm not sure why somebody would think otherwise, but does not make any difference. So I mean the taste would go from meat into the water, and it's some liquid in a gravy, whatever liquid water, right? And we would go into potatoes. So it's not secondary, it's a primary infusion. Number three, the type of pot under discussion. Okay, our discussion is limited to use of the clean pot. So as we said, of course it's clean pot, right? But of course we said before, just to remind us, there is a pot that was used in the last 24 hours, and there was a pot that was not used in the last 24 hours, right? Just to remind us, okay. Binyama, right? So let's see. Our discussion is limited to use of clean pot, 100%. A soiled pot is not subject to the principle nat bar nat, since the food residue adheres to the pot, is actually food, not mere taste, right? So, and this food is going to be infused into other foods that we clean in this dirty pot. Thus, we have actual food residue, not a secondary infusion. Okay. However, unless one specifically knows that it was not washed, Halachah assumes that any pot was washed and is presently clean, even though it was previously used for cooking. So it's very interesting. So here we use this leniency, unless you see like visually that this pot is dirty, right? And you can assume that it was cleaned. Okay, washed. Okay, no problem. In addition, the reader should remember that throughout this section, unless noted otherwise, the subject of benyamo pot, there is pot used for the meat or dairy food within the previous 24 hours. So every time, again, benyamo is that pot that used in last 24 hours, and we explained before why, because after 24 hours the taste is not as strong and it spoils. It's not actually taste, right? In some cases it's not even food. Okay, right? Okay, so that's the difference between benyamo and non-benyamo utensils. So in all of these cases we're going to discuss. It is a pot that we cooked, let's say, meat in the last 24 hours, but clean, and it was cleaned for, it doesn't matter when it was cleaned. Okay, let's not overcomplicate thing, but let's say it was used in the last 24 hours. Continue. In short, not barnat is when food is cooked in a pot, primary taste and infusion. The pot is washed clean, and then another food is cooked in the pot, secondary taste infusion. Okay, so we said a few times, but let's repeat so we have a strong base. So not barnat is when the food cooked in a pot, let's say this meat, and then we took out the meat and we clean the pot, and then when we cooked spaghetti in that pot. Okay, so when we cooked meat, primary infusion into the walls of the vessel, and when we cooked spaghetti in a clean pot, it's secondary infusion. Okay. It sounds like difficult, but it's actually very simple.